I am Kamal Bawa, President and founder of ATREE, Ashoka Trust for Research in Ecology and the Environment. And we are this year's winners of Sultan Qaboos and UNESCO Prize in Environmental Conservation. First of all, I want to thank His Majesty Sultan Qaboos for endowing this prize with UNESCO so that people and institutions that are doing work in conservation can be recognized at the global stage. We are, of course, delighted to receive this prize. We have been recognized before for our work in environmental conservation, but this is something very, very special. It's very special because of the involvement of UNESCO, because of the involvement of the government of Oman, and because the prize is being offered at the World Science Forum. I think one of the reasons why ATREE has been recognized for this work is that our approach to conservation is very advanced. Conservation in the tropics poses problems. There are people who want to use natural resources. Of course, everybody wants to conserve natural resources, but natural resources are under pressure. People who want to eke out a living from the use of these natural resources. There are economic pressures, there are political pressures, and ATREE's approach has been a multidimensional approach that we take into account social, economic, political, and ecological dimensions of decline and try to bring stakeholders together to develop strategies for conservation. And I believe we have been very successful in moving forward with the conservation agenda in India, not only working on in the area of biodiversity, but overall, how do we conserve our natural resources? And these days, of course, climate change is a very pressing issue. Water is another pressing issue. And in our mind, I think the science of biodiversity brings together many of these very, very pressing environmental challenges we are facing. And I think this prize will allow us to move forward with our agenda. And as to what we will do with the prize, I pass on the mic now to my colleague, Dr. Nitin Pandit, who is the director of ATREE and whose job it is to not only develop a long-term strategy for ATREE, but also what ATREE does from day to day. Nitin?
Thank you, Dr. Bawa. Again, it's a pleasure, and we are very thankful to UNESCO and to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos for giving ATREE this award. As Dr. Bawa has mentioned, we've worked long and hard, especially our faculty and the students and the researchers who worked in ATREE for almost 2 decades to win this award. It's their hard work that has led us to this point here. What makes it even more exciting is the fact that there is a lot more that they'll be doing because of this award and because of the trust that our donors have placed in us. What's important here is to recognize that biodiversity and natural resources around the world are under tremendous pressure, as Dr. Bawa just said. But what to do about it is a delicate balance, because we are dealing with a balance between developmental pressures, which are important in order to improve the human living condition, but at the same time to manage our natural resources in a justifiable, in an equitable manner, so that in fact they benefit not only the humans who benefit from it, but also the ecosystems which support it. As such, we will be using this prize for some very key programs that we've launched in the recent past and that we'll be taking forward in the future. One of them is the National Mission on Biodiversity and Human Well-being. This is launched by the Prime Minister's Office through the Principal Scientific Advisor, Dr. Vijay Raghavan, and in fact, it is a multidimensional, multi-institutional program that will spread across India and we are very much looking forward to using some of the proceeds to support the activities of the National Biodiversity Mission. Secondly, we have some exciting programs coming up in some very far-reaching areas of India, such as in the area of aquatic systems, such as wetlands, or in the restoration of degraded lands in India, of which there are quite a few. So the question here is, how do we actually utilize these resources to prepare strategic initiatives and ways in which we can address these issues in a balanced manner so that India's development can proceed and yet at the same time we can conserve our magnificent biodiversity.